every week there as well. So KJRH.com or Facebook Live, KJRH Facebook page.
You're right. The Broncos
we're talking playoffs. OU taking a big step towards the playoff. They're now number 3 in the AP poll. They'll almost certainly move into the top 4, maybe even top 3 in the college football playoff rankings on Tuesday. They were really, really good as they take over first place with that 38-20 defeat of TCU.
Now, I didn't realize that this was going to turn into a semi-argument in the sports office. But I'm just sitting there and I'm saying, so who's going to be the top 4 this year? I mean, this week. Is it going to be Alabama, Miami, Wisconsin, OU, and then...
I'm over it.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm over it.
I'm not doing it again.
I'm a bitter Notre Dame fan.
I'm not doing it again. I'm not going to fall for it. We do this every week. I'm just saying that those are the 4 teams that are going to be in the playoff.
No, you're right. You're right.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm a little triggered by what Notre Dame put on the field last night against Miami. But the point there is, you were saying, projecting ahead. You were saying, okay, so this team will be in, this team will be in. And I was saying, I'm done with that because the way Georgia played, the way Notre Dame played, and even the way Alabama played yesterday, I have no idea.
All I was saying
I have no idea what's going to happen in the next 3 weeks.
Tuesday,
I have no idea who's going to be in the playoffs. Yeah, now there you go.
That's only where I was going.
That's right.
I didn't predict that Miami would be in the playoffs. I didn't say Wisconsin, although I did argue in Wisconsin's.
We need to use our inside voices.
Yes.
Yes. You're a big fan of Wisconsin at the moment because they did beat mighty Iowa.
They didn't give up defensively, they did not give up a point to Iowa.
That's right. That happens in the Big Ten about 3 times a week, right?
Iowa got 55 yards total. They got 55 points total points against Ohio State.
Okay.
So there is a little bit, so that you bring up the question, who would win, Wisconsin or Ohio State? And you, I think, assumed I would say Ohio State. And no, I think Wisconsin would have a great chance to win this game. I don't care what the guys in Vegas say. They just set the line so they could get more money bet.
The question is which Ohio State team shows up. The one that put it on Michigan State yesterday?
So are we going to say that OU's win at Ohio State means nothing?
No. No, trust me. That's not where I'm going. The resumes definitely matter. My point only is these teams are capable of wild swings, and I would say more than ever before. I think Mike Gundy talks about this in his press conferences a lot. The parity's greater than it's ever been, and you know, I don't know if it's because there's talent everywhere, but it seems like kids are capable of playing lower than you would ever expect and higher than you would ever expect within the same season, more than they used to be. You know, it's not like when Nebraska or Miami or those guys would just blow through a schedule. I mean, Alabama's the only team that does anything like that anymore, and even those guys yesterday had to escape Starkville with a narrow victory.
But is that how you
roll the OU TCU?
Is that how you define parity, though?
That anybody could beat anybody?
That some team, I mean, a lot of teams are going to have that 1 or 2 bad games. Is that what it's come to, or is it too much to expect a college football team to be on?
Yeah, that's too much.
All systems go.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Game.
Nobody does that.
Right.
But
did they used to?
Well, no, maybe they didn't. I do think it's a little bit greater now because you don't have 100+ guys on scholarship, and you know there are more good players spread around the country. But no, your point is right. Hey, you know who's always on that Baker Mayfield fella? How about 38 points in the first half against TCU? The defense played a lot better. I know that this TCU offense is not just, you know, the very best in the country or anything, but I mean, it's a team that can do some things with a decent quarterback. The defense looked really good. What did you take from this ball game? What encouraged you the most with regard to OU as a college football playoff contender?
At the risk of sounding like OU wasn't quite sharp, I'm going to say that TCU was a bit overrated.
Okay.
Before the game.
It's probably true.
Because offensively, they're average. And if they don't play Turpin, and I expected Turpin to play many more plays yesterday, and he didn't. And I don't know if that's the stubbornness of Patterson or he thought he was going to win with defense. But the defense didn't show up yesterday when it had to. OU scored quickly in that first half, and the game was over at halftime.
Yeah.
Was it 38-10, right?
It was. Baker, 38-14. So Rodney Anderson, 290 total yards. This guy wasn't playing until the Texas game, just like a month ago or whatever that was. They've got more skill guys coming at us. I mean, I guess that's what I'm getting at. They've got such depth at the skill positions. Is this offense better than the last two have been? When they had Pirine and Mixon and Westbrook and Shepard? Yeah.
Collectively?
I didn't expect to be saying that.
They scored a lot of points last year.
They did. Pirine and Mixon are
I don't know. Do they have more weapons this year than they did last year?
I
don't know if I can say that. But I think their running game is surprisingly as good as it was last year.
Yeah.
They had the mix of Pirine and Mixon. This year, even though Anderson was the bulk of the running game yesterday, I don't think there's much of a trade-off if Sermon is playing. Maybe, as you mentioned, maybe a little bit with Adams, but not a whole lot. Adams has some darn good speed. That 99-yarder at the start of the season was pretty darn impressive.
So Mayfield and Lincoln Riley, that combo is now 9-0 in the month of November. All 3 seasons now, they've gotten better and better and better. Just going to rattle off some scores for you. 49-41 over Baylor. The loss to Iowa State, 38-31. 42-35 against Kansas State, and then they gave up 52 against Oklahoma State. So I think you and I both, for the last several weeks, have been saying, hey, we like this OU team. They could absolutely go win the Big 12, but they don't have the kind of defense that could possibly win a national title. You not only get into the playoff, but win the 2 games there. And have you begun to change your thinking there? Because I have. Yesterday has me changing, not just OU's performance, but like I mentioned at the start, Georgia's performance, Notre Dame's performance, Alabama's performance, Ohio State a week ago. I'm beginning to say, you know what? This defense is far from what I would consider national championship worthy. But things have changed, and Baker Mayfield is that good, and I'm now beginning to embrace the thought that these guys might just go win a national title.
OU is not going to win a national title with this defense.
This is why we call it the rant. Tell me. Talk to me. Make the people angry, Big Al.
They still are average. Defensively, they are average at best.
That's right.
So they're going to have the right matchups. No question. Now, are these freshmen better? You can't say. Like I said, I thought TCU's offense is pedestrian at best. So, it was a good thing that TCU was rated 6th going in, which I thought they were overrated personally. But it's good for OU that they beat the number 6 team. That's what will get them into the playoff picture tomorrow.
Sure.
Offensively, they're probably the best team in the country.
Yeah. All the numbers would tell you that. Sure.
And I'm wondering if we should let up a little bit on punishing OU for their loss to Iowa State. Because as the season has progressed, Iowa State has pulled off an upset now and then, but they're still playing tough 10 games into the schedule.
Sure.
So, I mean, they could have very easily beaten OSU
Not a terrible
yesterday.
loss, no doubt.
So, I'm starting to think that Iowa State is pretty good.
So, I guess second part of my question, they played the 2 new cornerbacks, the freshmen, Trey Norwood and then Union grad Trey Brown. And granted, TCU's wide receivers are not Oklahoma State's wide receivers, but the confidence issues that were clearly there with Jordan Thomas and maybe even Parnell Motley didn't appear to be there yesterday. These were aggressive kids. They were breaking on balls. They were breaking up some passes. Has the ceiling maybe changed for OU's defense? Do you think that they can improve bit by bit over the next month and maybe get to a level where they're more of a national title contender in your mind?
Well, I think they're a legit national contender right now anyway. Do I think those freshmen will carry on? OU's won with freshmen before in the defensive backfield.
These are talented guys.
So, yes, and now everybody's going to say, well, why didn't these guys play sooner? That's coming up. So, yes, I think they have a good chance. But I don't see them winning it with defense. If they are going to need defense to win the game for them, ain't happening.
Yeah. This is the rant, so you're supposed to have strong opinions, and my strong opinion is that I don't know. I know for a fact. Strongly, I will state it that I have no idea. I really do think OU's got about as good a shot as anybody. I would give Alabama the slightest of edges,
Are you basing that on how Alabama played yesterday?
Partly.
Or are you basing that on
throw it all into
Notre
the mix?
Dame's clunker and Georgia's clunker?
Notre Dame's clunker. Miami looking like they're maybe at a level I didn't expect, although they could just go lose to Virginia this Saturday because crazy things happen. But here's my point. as long as they have Baker Mayfield, it is very, very difficult for me to pick against the Sooners. And I think that may even extend to the playoff. We'll see. I mean, if they get matched up with a Clemson, Brent Venables, a month to prepare, all that, that may be too much to overcome.
All right, so
but I really like the way OU's heading, like we have the last 2 years in November.
So who is OU's opponent in the Big 12 championship game?
Well, I think it's going to be TCU because I just think that little of Texas Tech. But we can go ahead and roll the Oklahoma State highlights as we get into this discussion. OSU surviving with that late interception from A.J. Green, defeating Iowa State in Ames 49-42. OSU finishing the year 6-0 on the road. So how about that? I think it's going to be TCU. I would love to see the Bedlam rematch. But I don't think enough of Texas Tech even in Lubbock. In a spot where TCU has to win, I know that they looked like junk last week, but I bet they play better this week. I don't see. I mean, if you were going to put percentages on it, I wouldn't go above about 15%. Would you go higher than that?
No, not much. I was going to say 20, but that's basically the same.
Yeah. I mean, so it's at Texas Tech and then Baylor. That's who TCU's got to beat.
I hope it's
for
not
a rematch.
TCU, though.
Me too.
Because I think it's a boring
Yesterday was a dud. Look, it could be different. I mean, it'll be in their backyard. It'll be a different game. Maybe OU's a little overconfident. Patterson can sure coach. And every other game he'd coached against the Sooners going back to 2012 before yesterday was a close one. So there are reasons to think TCU would play a lot better. But I'm with you. I mean, I don't want to see what we saw yesterday again in the Big 12 title game because I absolutely believe the two best teams in this league are Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. I think almost everybody probably thinks that.
Don't forget West Virginia.
No, not even close. I mean, and look, I shouldn't be saying that because Oklahoma State just barely survived Iowa State, and it's been difficult in Big 12 play for both of our teams. So look, maybe they're not that much better than everybody else, but I think these are the two best teams, and they played such a fantastic game in Stillwater. I would sure love to see that.
By the
I
way,
think it'll happen.
I don't know how close we are to going. Well, I got to say one thing.
Go right ahead.
Gus Malzahn is what he pulled yesterday.
Pretty impressive.
No, I'm not going there.
Oh, really?
No.
What did he?
It's 40-10.
Yes.
With 2 minutes to go.
Okay.
And there's a spot on a fourth down. That gave Georgia first down.
And he challenged?
And he challenged the spot. With 2 minutes to go,
can I tell you something else?
40-10. There's
a life lesson. There's a lot. You scrap for everything, boys and girls.
Baloney.
You scrap for everything.
You don't think
challenge
Georgia,
it all.
You don't think Georgia's going to remember that? That was about as Bush League.
No, that sounds pretty bad.
Stop.
That sounds
with
pretty
the television
bad.
replay.
Yes.
Asking for
the
a replay.
OU game. Holy moly, how many reviews did we have? We got to review everything? Why?
Well, not only that.
My life was better before instant replay.
They take the TV commercial, then they come back ready to play, then they decide to take the TV replay?
Can't take
Stop.
it. Stop. That's kind of what we've become. We're just a couple of old guys ranting about how bad instant replay is. We do that. You said you would be the best instant replay guy there's ever been.
No question. I would have my decision.
I just want it gone.
I would have my decision completed in 15 seconds.
Well, I like that. I like the sound of that. Hey, there's Michelle Tafoya, so the game is back on. This is fun. Oklahoma, almost certainly in first place and almost certainly on its way to the Big 12 title game.
Don't we want to see OSU get into the Big 12 title game?
Absolutely. Absolutely, with all my heart.
By the way, TU had, mercifully, a bye.
They do not have a bye this week,
no.
as they've got USF coming up, and those guys have some major talent.
Yes.
That's a tough road trip.
And it's a Thursday night game.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Or Friday? Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Thursday night.
And we should mention, how about that doubleheader coming on Saturday at Chapman Stadium as we've got Union Broken Arrow and Jinx Owasso.
You're not buying the triple-header thing?
Oh, with the
women's basketball game between?
Yeah.
When you go
the triple header.
You can go to the game and go to the rental center to warm up.
Get warm.
Watch a little basketball, have some hot chocolate.
Actually, did you see is it Friday that it's 76 degrees, Brandon? Like Thursday or Friday, it's
Friday.
76.
What about Saturday?
What is going on? It's in the 60s.
Oh,
it's nice.
Perfect.
It's nice.
Perfect. It's going to be 40,000 people at the joint.
Okay, how about quick picks on that, on those two games? You going with chalk?
Yes.
You going Union Owasso?
Yes. Yes. Broken Arrow's gotten better as the years progressed, though.
Sure. Jinx has too. The intrigue is pretty great with people.
By the way, I'm gonna do the Jim Traber thing. Pat myself on the
There
back.
you go. Give it up to
because we had
yourself.
Alan Trimble
The ultimate.
on the radio on Friday,
Okay.
and he was at one of our favorite restaurants.
Okay.
And I suggested that he get the cherry cobbler with vanilla ice cream. I said, if you have that for dessert, you'll win by 30. He got the dessert. They won by 33.
How about that?
See that?
There it is, Al. Cherry cobbler sounds good.
Oh my gosh,
Hey,
it's so good.
Hey, that's it for the rant. Maybe we'll do a special cherry cobbler edition.
We should.
Midweek, something like that. Hey, we got
cool.
the Thursday games on NBC
That's
now.
cool.
Be good, everybody.
All right. Good night.